Scathach sure is a very popular character in Phat Grand Order. There has been several skill figures and price figures of her in her Lancer class form, and they keep getting re-released over and over. And then we have the Caster class version of her. The first Ascension is taken care of by Phat Company. The second Ascension is what you're looking at over here by Q, and Good Smile Company is taking on the third Ascension. However, with this second Ascension version of her by Q is already setting a pretty high bar. Hi and welcome to X-Kurgane Blog and Photography. I'm Steven, and today I have a scale figure review. Not a very long one because there are barely any negatives to speak of this figure right here. This is a 1/7 scale figure of Scathach Caster-class version, second Ascension version from Phat Grand Order. A 20,000 yen 1/7 scale high quality figure from a reputable figure manufacturer, Q. I myself am rather familiar with Q, so the expectations are already right up there the moment I hit the buy button with this figure over here, and she certainly does not disappoint. So we have a quick look at the box of this figure right now. This is what the box of this figure of Scathach looks like. And this is not very typical of what Q does for their box design. This is more reminiscent of what Alter would do. A clear plastic box, all sides. This is something you usually see from Alter, but somehow Q decided to do this kind of box design for this figure, which I like a lot. But they went back to the typical paper cut box for Mars Kyrillite or Thanos version, which was released last month. I'm still waiting for my chance to get my hands on that figure as well. Back to this figure, this is what a 10 out of 10 figure looks like in terms of sculpt. Not a single flaw to be found from head to toe, and every separate part that were painted separately and then put together and glued together later on, they fit so well that you don't have any bad seam lines or gaps anywhere on this figure. Based on these two facts alone, it makes this figure well worth the 20,000 yen price tag. However, there are two small catches with this figure on the sculpt aspect, and the first one has to do with the face. And no, there is nothing wrong with her face at all, but depending on which angle you're looking at this figure from, sometimes it feels a bit out of character, as if the figure is not Scathach at all. But this is not exactly a problem with the sculpt, but rather a problem of translation from a 2D character into a 3D object, where it is not always perfect. Some figures, they look great from many different angles, while a select few, there are quite a few out there where they don't look nice except from very specific angles, and that is what I discovered with this figure when I'm photographing her, taking some sample photos. And the second one has to do with some very small and fragile parts which you have to be really careful with it. For example, at the edges of her dress over here, these small spikes, I guess. Yeah, be very careful about it. You certainly do not want to break it. I myself happened to accidentally break something similar on a previous Q figure, Elizabeth Battery. I broke her earrings, right? Which is very similar to what I'm seeing over here, and it is traumatizing. Like seriously, if I were to accidentally break one of these, despite taking extra care of the figure, I will purposely break off the other remaining 3 on her dress so that the figure will appear more well balanced, just as things should be. Moving on to the paint job, once again, I can't find any flaws at all, not at normal viewing distances anyway, not at close viewing distance as well. So I would say a 9.5 out of 10 very easily, but why not a full 10 out of 10? Because, well, if I were to use a magnifying glass and inspect in very close detail, I might find something. But this will be down to sample variation, where a mass-produced product is often not always perfect. But this is as good as it gets. For a 20,000 Japanese yen figure, can't really find much to complain about. Nothing at all, in fact, except for certain very fragile parts, but that is really not the fault of the manufacturer at all. It is just the character design. The last part is the base, and I can't say I'm very fond of the design of this base. Perhaps the only one less flattering thing I can say about this figure at this point. But when you put aside my opinion on the base design, this figure has a very small footprint, and combined with a small and compact base, she does not take up much space on a shelf, always a good thing. Do not let that one single metal footpeg in the base fool you. This is a very stable figure, very sturdy, does not wobble at all despite that one single metal footpeg, despite standing on one single leg. So do not worry about the support issues appearing with this figure. I don't think that is an issue at all. So overall, this is a glowing review for this figure of Scathach Caster by QuestQ. If you have 20,000 Japanese yen to spare, plus shipping cost, this is a must-have for all FGO fans out there. Go and get one, and I don't think she is very rare yet, not at the moment. If you do have any other questions about this figure or any other figures in general, please do not hesitate to drop a comment below, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. I shall see you guys again soon.